Hello, everyone. Welcome to another special September edition of the Learning Curve with Ramya Deepak. Thank you so much for being an active participant and audience in my September campaign journey and interacting with me through messages, comments, and generous donations. Today, I'm very excited about my guest. Diverging from the education industry today, I'm honored to be joined by Ashwini Nandini, a senior vice president at Global Logic. With over 3 decades of experience in IT and product development services, Nandini is an industry leader known for her global strategy initiatives and leadership excellence. She is a frequent speaker at technology conferences hosted by thought leadership groups such as NASCOM, Times Group, and Silicon India. Nandini has received several awards recognizing her work, including being the winner of NASCOM Role Model in ER&D in the inaugural NASCOM Engineering and Innovation Excellence Awards in June 2021, and also winner of the Software Engineering Institute Global Capability Challenge Champion 2018, beating more than 250 companies. More than anything, Nandini is a passionate advocate for women in tech and leadership roles, and it is evident from her work and the voice she shares through her inspiring posts on her LinkedIn page. I'm delighted to have this chat today with Nandini to seek some wider perspectives to women and leadership. Welcome, Nandini. Welcome to Learning Curve with Ramya Deepak.
Thank you so much, Ramya. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Let's start by knowing a little bit about yourself. And can you tell us about your journey and what inspired you to become a leader in the IT industry?
Sure. So, Ramya, I've been in the industry for over 3 decades now. I started as a developer, then graduated to a team lead, account manager, delivery leader, managing a large engineering delivery center as the P&L head, and graduating to being a global head for a function which I nurtured from scratch. So it's been a great journey. I also dabbled in a variety of technologies. I started my career as a mainframe developer, then
Mm,
moved to Visual Basic, Visual C++, Java to microservices. I have survived the Y2K to the digital transformation and managed to,
yeah.
go through this journey. I think one thing that I realized early on is you need to reinvent yourself every few
Yes.
years to stay relevant.
Mm,
And I think that's the reason I've managed to stay from Y2K to digital transformation. You have to keep upskilling and upgrading yourself. Um, in terms of what motivated me, honestly, in the beginning, what motivated me was just money, security, a job, a career.
yeah.
And also in the mid 90s, I think, getting to travel, which the IT industry provided, was a big plus.
Mm,
But slowly, gradually, I started to enjoy what I was doing.
mm,
I grabbed opportunities that came my way. I went with the flow. I became more ambitious and I wanted to,
yeah.
I really wanted to grow and make an impact and add value to the organization. And I think that's how the transition started to happen. And then I would say my daughter has been a great inspiration for me. We both are in the same industry, and being a young mom has helped me because I'm working and she's also an established professional. Both of us inspire, motivate each
Each
other.
other.
We learn from each other and we are each other's cheerleaders as well.
Mm,
And I also feel I wanted to set an example for her. And I also feel a lot of responsibility towards a lot of women leaders out there.
yeah.
They look up to me. So I really want to set an example and be an inspiration and motivate each one of them.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Nandini. And thank you so much for being so honest about, about your motivations and your early motivations, and then how, as you learned and developed, and yes, all of us have to keep reinventing ourselves, how those motivations change. And it's so lovely to know about your daughter as well, that, sometimes inspiration starts from within the family, and that's how we build, and that's how we build the community as well. So you've already touched on it, but I've read so many of your LinkedIn posts as well now. So in your experience, what are some of the unique challenges that women face in the IT sector, and any personal experiences that you have heard or you have encountered yourself?
See, the challenges are not unique to women, but it ends up being a challenge for women in the IT industry, primarily because, Ramya, I'm talking from the
Yeah,
Indian
yeah.
context. In India, it is still, women are still the
Yes.
primary caregivers when it comes to family. They share a bulk of the load, sometimes by choice, and
Yeah.
sometimes they themselves take it upon, right? That I need to
Yeah,
be the,
absolutely.
I can, my example, I want to be there in every PTM, right? Even if my husband offers, I tell him, no, I will go. So I think we are wired that way. We want to be at the forefront of whatever is happening in our children's lives. So we take a lot on ourselves. We want to be
Mm,
superwomen. Um, So, in terms of the challenges, especially in the IT industry, see, it's not a 9 to 5
Yeah.
job, especially as you work your way up the ladder. You will have calls at odd times. You'll have to talk to the clients and to your counterparts who are in
Yeah.
different geographies and different time zones. So you can't just shut off, right? Okay, it's
Mm,
now 5 o'clock. It's not a bank
true.
job. I mean, honestly, I know that I'm sure every industry has its own challenges, but in IT, the flexibility, being available at times outside of your regular working hours, that's definitely, it's very
Yeah.
demanding. The other challenge I would say is, again, as you are going up the ladder, you are expected to
Mm,
travel at a short
mm,
notice frequently for, let's say, to defend a
mm.
proposal or to pitch for a proposal, to meet with a client for an escalation. And I have done that myself. I remember a personal story during my son's 10th board exams. I had to travel to the US. I didn't want to, but then I had no choice. I had to travel for a proposal pitch. And I took a 16-hour flight, made the pitch, and I took the flight back home immediately. So I spent less than 24 hours in the US soil. It took a toll on my body. It was very, very
Mm,
demanding, but it was a choice. Right? And I have no regrets. I
mm.
really enjoyed it. And I've been in delivering engagements all my life. And when you're closer to a release, a major release of a software product or a service, the few
Yeah.
weeks leading to the release can be very, very
Mm,
demanding, chaotic, intense, irrespective of the
mm.
role you play. And I think women have to
Yeah.
juggle a lot, and sometimes it can get a
Mm,
little too much. The way I have handled it is first by ensuring that I've developed a great support system
mm.
over the years. I delegate and outsource everything that it is
Good
possible to
job. Good
delegate and
point.
outsource, like cooking, cleaning, housekeeping, anything, driver, anything and everything that is possible, except being the emotional anchor to my children and being there for them. That's something that I want to do and I have loved to do. And I think that's what has kept the communication channel open. And I am on their speed dial and they reach out to me. I'm more friends with them. So that is, I think
Yeah.
you need to figure out what do you want to delegate, what do you want to outsource, and what do you want to keep for yourself. And also, let's say if I've been having a very hectic few weeks, I then take a short break, I switch off and then recharge myself and spend time with them. Or if once I come back from a business trip, I used to
Mm,
travel a lot. I just spend a couple of evenings with them just doing fun stuff and just I think
yeah.
it's all about balance. Sometimes your career demands more and
Yeah.
sometimes you need to spend more time with your family. So you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do it if you want to.
True. And
It's not
you've
a
covered so many points there. And I
yeah.
want to say, even though you are saying that, you're speaking from an Indian's perspective, there are so many similarities because these are universal challenges. I mean, yes, some other countries, maybe there is
Mhm.
of late there has been more of a change in perspective or a shift in perspective in terms of how women need not be the main caregiver at home, but still traditionally, historically, that was always the perspective, wasn't it? So even here in Australia, it is still seen that women are the traditional caregivers. And yes, there are some changes in perspective happening, but it's still, I think that stereotype is difficult to shift. It's not very easy to shift. It's not very easy to shift, and
Right.
we all have to balance.
True.
And the other point you raise about delegating, my recent guest, couple of episodes earlier, Tracy, said the same thing about, whatever I can delegate, I can't delegate being a mom. I can't delegate my role in terms of who I am, in terms of a learning specialist, or in terms of your role at your company. But whatever else I can delegate, cooking, cleaning, whatever, I'm going to do that, because then this is what I prioritize. And that's what we have to do. So that's very common as well. So in terms of then let's turn the thing around a little bit and talk about mentorship. How has mentorship helped you in your journey so far, and how are you now as a mentor helping some other people come up in life?
Sure. So I was lucky enough that I got a few good mentors early on in my life, and then I got so excited that hey, I saw such a huge, tremendous change in me that I signed up, and I am a
Nice.
certified life and leadership coach. And this is something that I love doing. I enjoy spending time with my teams or whoever reaches out, and I
Yeah.
want to share my learnings and my experience. Uh, Ramya, I want to share a
Hmm.
concept called Ochibo Hiroi. it's a Japanese
Yeah.
concept. It's in fact it's a Hitachi concept. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
Hitachi's flagship program. Ochibo Hiroi means learning from your
Mm-hmm.
mistakes, learning from your failures, learning from the past. And not
Yeah.
just failures and mistakes, even your best practices. The idea is learn, try to institutionalize, try to share
Yeah.
so that others learn from it and benefit from it. And it resonates
Yeah.
completely with me because that's what I do. I share my learnings and my experience because I want people to traverse their journey much faster than I did.
Yeah,
And I think that's the
absolutely.
best legacy one can leave behind, right? And, I'm always supportive and I champion a lot of any initiatives in this area, whether it's any DEI initiative or any women leadership
Mm,
program, I'm always there. And that is
mm,
something that I just love doing. And you spoke about my LinkedIn posts.
mm,
Again, that's a
mm,
small step in the direction where I want to share my learnings and experiences.
mm.
And if that inspires and motivates even a few people,
Yeah,
then I think
absolutely,
that's the
absolutely.
purpose is
So
served,
let's
right?
not yes, we are talking about women and we're talking about their challenges, but their successes and all that. But we are in an industry, both of us are in an industry where we do have male colleagues and we do have male allies in our families as well. How important do you think is their role in supporting our success story and being a part of our success story as well?
I think it is very, very important, and we cannot undermine that because even today, I think it's skewed, right? The ratio, the bulk of the workforce is male, right? It's a male dominated industry, especially in the leadership position. So they do have they are in a position of power and influence, right? And the good part is over the years, they have also realized that DEI or having more diverse workforce, having more women leaders is
Yeah,
not just a good thing to have, but it is mandatory because it's a no-brainer that you have a diverse workforce. It reflects on your top line and bottom line. So I think everybody has understood, accepted, and acknowledges it, and they're all working towards making a difference. And as I said, it is not just the workforce. Even today, the C-level position as well as the
yeah,
board,
absolutely.
they're dominated by men.
Yeah,
So they are in a position of power and influence. So if they support and if they champion these causes, whether it's a DEI initiative
yeah,
or women leadership positions, if they champion and
yeah,
support these causes, we are bound to be successful. And I think that is why it's very, very important that we have more male allies. And if they can be supportive of their female colleagues and if they can just
yeah.
cheer them, I think it will just
Absolutely.
go a long way.
Let's talk a little bit more about your role in how you said you're a life coach and you are mentoring lots of people as well. So when you see younger women leaders coming up the rank and all that, what are some of the challenges they bring to you? I mean, yes, we have touched on a few, but is there anything in specific you would like to say? And what are some of the issues they face that you are helping them with right now?
Well,
Mm,
the constant challenge is the jugglery, right? I mean, how do I manage? Because, see, ironically, when you are trying to speed up
yeah,
your career, that's when the
yeah,
demands on the other side also increases, right? Whether it's aging parents, laws, your children, want you and need you, and you also have to take care of your personal uh, stuff. You have to focus on your health and your me time and your mental health, right? So it becomes too much at times. So people do reach out to me, how
mm,
did you do it, how did you
mm,
manage, how did you traverse, right? So
mm,
that's a very common theme that they come up to me, and I tell them that my mantra has been very, very simple:
mm,
the delegation and the outsource, which I spoke about. And the other thing that I tell them, which I have personally experienced and consciously done a couple of times, is I've slowed down
mm,
when I thought it was needed. Like when my daughter was in her
yeah,
class 12, it was a conscious decision. I did slow down. I took a back seat, and then when she went for her undergrad studies, when she went out of her home and she went overseas for
yeah,
her master's, I took up challenging opportunities. So you
mm,
should know when to slow down, when to speed up, and you should do it not
yeah,
because life demands it. It has to come from you. You have to make peace with
mm,
it, and you should be happy.
yeah,
It can't be forced because if it is forced, then you're not happy, then you're always
yes,
regretting and cribbing about it, and it doesn't augur well. So if you're doing it, if you're taking that conscious decision, you can always come back. And that's something that I've done a couple of times, and without any guilt and without anyone telling me or forcing me to do it. It was a conscious decision,
mm,
and I made peace with it, and I'm happy
yeah,
about it. So I think that is again something that I tell them, right? So it's okay, right? You cannot, like, Sachin Tendulkar
Yeah,
gets out on a zero, but next time he comes
it's
and hits a
okay.
century, right? So it's okay, right? You cannot have a good day all the time and you cannot have a bad day. It's okay as long as you are doing it consciously and you know that, hey, it is temporary. I'm going to come back. And I think,
Yeah.
but it should, as I said, nobody can force it. You have to believe that that's the
Absolutely,
right thing for
absolutely.
you to do
Very
and just
beautifully said,
do
Nandini.
that.
I'm so appreciative of all the insights that you're sharing because they not only resonate with me, but also will with the audience. But also, you're adding some beautiful extra additional insights, which I think will be really, really reciprocated by the audience. I do want to touch on, now everyone talks about the pre-pandemic and post-pandemic era, thanks to our COVID, 2 years of COVID, and obviously something that has happened post-pandemic and definitely has impacted IT industry the most because in education sector we don't have work from home, so we have to go to school, we have to be in front of the students, we have to, so we don't have work from home. But in IT you do have that option, and that option has become even more feasible or viable or available post pandemic. So, have you noticed any specific challenges that women are facing because of that, or any opportunities, or has it been more of an opportunity for women because of that shift from work from home?
I would say, Ramya, the opportunities have opened up a lot more than the challenges because,
Yeah.
again, in the
Mm.
middle management, there was a lot of talent
Yeah.
leakage for the same reasons,
Yeah.
right? Childbirth and aging parents, and, family was taking a priority. And with work from home and
Mm.
with lots of companies offering
Mm.
remote, I think
Yeah.
people
No.
who were on
Mm.
sabbatical, it just became easier for them to get back to work, right? And people are now
Mm.
okay to take a break because they know it is easier to get back into the groove. So I think it has helped. And also, I know a lot of women who had to move to tier two, tier three cities because their spouse was getting transferred, and they would take
Mm.
up a
Mm.
career which was, more of a compromise. But given so many
Yeah.
companies offering complete remote, they can, they are able to make the transition without any
Mm.
compromise. So everybody is starting to have a flourishing career. And I think it is saving a
Yeah.
lot of time. The commute time, we know in India, especially the metros, there's a lot of commute time, and they're able to
Mm.
save on all of that commute time. And I think life has become richer. They're able to spend time on themselves, on their family, and still able to manage their
Mm.
work. I think life has definitely become richer, right? But having said
Mm.
that, I won't say it's always rosy. There are some sections where uh, I do see some challenges. Like, there are some women who have come to me saying, you know what, I really wish we could come to office
Yeah.
every day because see, there are families which are not that supportive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, work from home translates to work
Yeah.
for home. So their expectations from the women folk is to get, hot
Yeah.
food and to take care of the kid and to, be there at the beck and call. And I think such women are
Mm.
definitely having a challenge because earlier they would switch off. When they came to
Yes.
office, they would focus on work. The boundaries was nicely set, and they also got their me time, right? When they were traveling or the breaks. But
Yes.
now they are in that circle of there's
Mm.
no me time for them. They're
Mm.
always expected to be available, and it is also impacting their
Yes.
work because they are not able to provide that kind of focus. So
Mm.
kind of and it is having a toll on their mental health. So there is a
Mm.
section which is struggling because they are not able to
Yeah.
adjust and they are not able to have this, like having a home office,
Yeah.
like nobody disturbs me during this time. They're not able to call out such clear
Challenge,
boundaries. And
yes.
for that
Yeah, well
section,
said, well said,
this is proving
absolutely.
to
And
be
I
a
understand
challenge
that,
more than an
yes, when you
opportunity.
are at home, I mean, and different families are different, so it's not a challenge for everyone. But yes, especially if you have aging parents, you're in a joint family, you have aging parents at home or young children at home, then those expectations also stay that you're home, then I might as well have a hot lunch, or I might as well have, that's that. So it's not, and yes, having a career or coming to office is more than just the work. It's about having that time to ourselves, having, it's like taking off one garb of ourselves of being a mom or whatever and putting on that professional garb and going. So yeah, well said, Nandini. um Okay, we are going kind of towards the end of our chat, and I think it's been so lovely to chat with you. I wish we could chat on forever, but I would just want to, before we I ask you from your final words, I would like to know what are your, just some personal question in terms of what are some of the hobbies or some things that you do to fill your bucket, to fill, your, yeah.
I'm a yoga enthusiast. I'm a certified yoga trainer and I've been practicing yoga for 10 plus years. And
Mm,
that is something that is, when I feel very, very stressed, when I feel that I'm not able to handle, that's my
okay.
go-to activity. And I
Yeah.
practice it. I regularly practice yoga and I love going for walks.
Mm,
And when I'm walking, I'm always doing all my social calls when I'm walking. So that way, it's like, with women, we're always good at how do I maximize my returns? So when I'm going for a walk, I have a list of people that I call, social
yeah.
calls and friends, and I make sure that then I feel very productive. A 1 hour walk, and I've also spoken to 4 people.
Mm,
So, I mean, these are some things that I like, and I am a
mm.
movie buff. I'm a Bollywood movie buff.
Yeah,
I
I
watch
know, right?
a
I
lot
do
of
the same.
movies and web series and OTT. Thanks to OTT, I think
Mm,
I yeah, I kind of catch up on everything.
yes.
Anyone recommends anything that my weekends, I definitely complete one web series. And I like
Yeah,
taking short breaks and spending time with my children, talking to my
absolutely.
children. That's my greatest stress buster, and I love doing that. And I hope they continue because I'm like, there will come a stage when they won't want to talk to me as
Yes.
much as they do now, and I'm just trying to,
Yes, so beautiful, Nandini.
extend
So
this
beautiful to
for
hear all that
as
from
much as
you.
I.
And
But I
so,
just love
as
doing
we wrap
that.
this up, I would like to ask you what one, two things. One, what if there is any particular advice you would like to give young women, especially who are just coming up in their career, who are looking at aspirant leaders or considering leadership opportunities, but then having self-doubt. And secondly, what is your hope in terms of not IT industry in particular, because you are coming from that sector, in terms of women and leadership? What is your hope and what's your vision? Yeah.
See, my advice to budding women leaders would be the choice of your partner's spouse. It's a very important choice. You want to spend the life with someone who believes in your goals and ambitions and not just believes in his or her goal and ambition. It's very, very important because I've seen a lot of women who are who had so much potential and so much to
Yeah.
give, but for some reason they made one wrong choice and it's kind of put a stop. So that is absolutely detrimental to them and to the society, to
Yeah.
the organization. Of course, the other advice I already gave, like delegate and slow down and speed up when needed. But I
Yeah.
think this is a very important decision and don't get
Yeah.
bogged down by society and family pressures. Just follow your heart and follow your heart. I think it's going to definitely come in handy. In terms of the future, I am expecting that the
Mm,
conversations we are having, uh, this should not be a
mm,
point of debate or discussion. And this will not be in the CEO or the board's agenda. Because with so much happening, with everybody acknowledging and accepting that a diverse workforce is the need of the hour, and we need to do more and more. So, all of those initiatives, whether it's a DEI initiative, women leadership programs, they're all going to yield results, in the coming decade or so. So,
mm.
hopefully, we will not be having these kind of
Yeah.
debates and discussions because if not an equal representation, we should at least have a fair
Mm,
representation because everybody understands that that hits the top line and the bottom line. And uh, as long as it's
yeah.
metric driven, organizations are not doing it
Mm,
as a PR exercise, but genuinely believe that this is
mm,
needed. They monitor, track, measure, tweak, and are sincere about the focus
mm.
and the execution
Beautifully. Thank you
is
so
there.
much,
I,
Nandini. Thank you
I
so
don't
much for your
see
time.
this going
I
wrong
can't
at
believe
all.
it's more than 20 minutes that we have been talking about. It feels like I just started talking to you. But that's the thing. And I really hope, I do hope that if I do happen to continue this series, that, I can start talking about something else. And challenges that women face is not something that is forefront of my mind. I do hope I see that change as well. So absolutely. And for my audience, I mean, I'm sure you're going to find this episode absolutely insightful. Nandini's thoughts, Nandini's perspectives, Nandini's stories have all will resonate with you in one way or the other. So please do, when you do watch this, please do leave a comment or a message for me and Nandini in the social media, and we would love to continue the chat with you. Thank you once more, Nandini.
Thanks a lot, Ramya. It's been a pleasure.